Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute, text number 4. Bhumirapanalo vayu kamano buddha evacha ahankara itiyame vina prakritira ashtada. Bhumirapanalo vayu kamano buddha evacha ahankara itiyame Vina prakritir ashtada. Bhumirapadalo vayu kamano buddhevacha kankarishiyame Vina prakritir ashtada. Dame. Bhumirapanalo vayu kamano buddhi evacha yame ashada. Bhumi, earth. Apa, water. Anala, fire. Where do we find that word? What's that? You've heard that word before? Yes. Anyone ever heard that? Samsaradava, anala, lita loka, anala. Which means? Samsara, what does samsara mean? Yes, samsara. Davanala. Dava anala. What does davanala mean? What does dava mean?
Forest?
Forest, yes. We're in a forest, a material experience. And anala is forest fire. Forest fire. So the forest fire of the material life is samsara, repeated birth and death. Samsara, davana, analita, loda, Lida means afflicted. Samsara davanala lida loka. What's that? Loka. No, here it means people. People. Our building is afflicted by birth and death. Once it's dead, it's dead. It's already dead. Samsara dhavan, analita loka. Tranaya, what does tranaya mean?
Deliverance.
Yes, deliver. Tranaya, karunya. What is that?
Mercy.
Yes, that mercy is delivering. Samsara dhavan, analita loka. Tranaya, karuna. Ganakatvam. What is ganakatvam?
Just like cloud.
Yes, it's the quality of a cloud. So it's delivering, it's pouring down the mercy, like a cloud pours down mercy. Praptasya, what does praptasya mean?
To get?
To acquire, like prapti city. Praptasya kalyana. Auspicious. Kalyana, anavarna, anavasya. Praptasya kalyana, anavasya. What does arna mean? Well, it's nice since we're saying this for years and years. It's always nice to find out what we're saying. Oh, really? Is that what it's on? Anavasya. What? Yes? Yes, the ocean. An ocean of spiritual qualities, of auspicious qualities. Asya means of, like of. an ocean of. So because the spiritual master has an ocean of spiritual qualities, he's like an ocean of spiritual qualities, of auspicious qualities. Therefore, he can pour down his mercy like a cloud pours rain on the forest fire to extinguish it. So the spiritual master extinguishes the blazing fire of material existence. So Anula. So here's Anula is fire. Vayu, air. Kam, ether. Manaha, mind. Buddhi, intelligence. Eva, certainly. Cha, and. Ahankara, false ego. Iti, thus. Iyam, all these. Me, my. Bina, separated. Prakriti, energies. Ashtada, eightfold. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Purport. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and His diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord, in His different Purusha incarnations, expansions, as described in the Sattvata Tantra. Vishnu's 2 Trini Rupani, Purushakyan Yato Vidu, Ekam tu Mahatak Shastri Divitiyam Twanda Samstitam, Tritiyam Sarabhutastam, Tani Gyatva Vimuchate. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes 3 Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these 3 Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. This material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of the material world are directed by these 3 Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities, and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of the material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahmajyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalist, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahmajyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha Lokas, and the impersonalist accepts this Brahmajyoti as the ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all-pervasive aspect of the Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the complete energetic person, and he possesses different separated and internal energies. In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, and air, and sky, are called the 5 gigantic creations, or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. But the other three items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with the mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am, and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahatattva. Therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which is the subject matter of Sankyo atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energies and are separated from him. But atheistic Sankyo philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion of the Sankyo philosophy is only the manifestation of the external energy of Krishna as is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhumir apalavayu kamano buddha evacha ahankaraiti hame bina prakatir astada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Namo Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Siddharne. Here's our introduction to Sankyo philosophy in the 7th chapter. Probably everyone's favorite subject, that earth, water, fire, air, and ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Just the things that we want to think about. But here it mentions that above, or the source of these is Krishna. So that's significant, that because Krishna is the source, and from Krishna expands the Purusha avatar, the Baladev. From Baladev comes the Chatura Vyuha. From the Chatura Vyuha expands into another Chatura Vyuha, which expands into the 3 guna avatars, which create the material elements. So it's all spiritual. The only thing that's not spiritual is our consciousness. And therefore, Krishna consciousness is to spiritualize our consciousness by adding Krishna. Actually, Krishna is everywhere, and everything's in Krishna, but Krishna has provided illusory energy to us so we can think that there's something apart from Krishna. It's just an idea. It's not reality. But according to how deeply absorbed we have it, we become absorbed in illusion. To that degree, we're in ignorance and we have to suffer. There is no way out of suffering if you're in ignorance. The further we go away from Krishna, the further we're recovered from Krishna, then the less happiness we can experience, because Krishna is the source of happiness. You can't get hot if you go away from the fire. If you go away into the fire and you jump into ice water trying to get warm, you're mistaken. The only way you're going to get warm is get out of the ice water into the fire, and then you can get some heat. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed. Although there's a big sign, come here, warm water, you'll get hot. Bring your air conditioner. But if you're going to jump into ice water, you're going to get cold. There's no way around it, unless you're a yogi. As that yogi made a bet that he was going to be he could stay in the water, in the ice water, the whole night. And so a very wealthy man took up the bet. So all night long he was in the ice water. And the next day the wealthy man came and he said, well, can you pay me my debt? I was in this ice water all day long. So the wealthy man said, no, I can't pay you the debt. You cheated. So there was a candle 5 kilometers away, and I know, since you're a yogi, we're taking heat from the candle. So I'm not going to pay you anything. But the wealthy man had a servant, and the servant said, "Oh, my master is cheating this yogi. It's not very good." So the next day, the master said, "I have to go to an important engagement. You have to cook the food. Has to be ready in such and such time." He said, "No problem." So the time came. The master said, "So, my dear servant, where is the food?" He said, "Well, it's still cooking." And then half an hour went by, and he said, "It's still cooking." An hour went. What do you mean it's still cooking? So he went in and he found the pot was on sticks, way above the fire. He said, "What are you doing?" So the servant said, "Well, I learned from you yesterday that actually you can take heat from a candle so far away. So certainly this pot can take heat from this fire, which is right underneath it, although it's a little above it." So the master realized he was cheating the yogi, and he gave him the wager. In any case, the point is that if we want to be Krishna conscious, we have to associate with Krishna. And to associate with Krishna, we have to give up our material consciousness. Without giving up our material consciousness, which means essentially that there's no Krishna. That's the whole material endeavor. Krishna doesn't exist. Everything is going on by accident. I have to do my own thing. I don't really need Krishna. And I'm going to make it myself. I'm going to save the world, or I'm going to enjoy the world, or I'm going to control the world. I don't need Krishna. So, those who are trying to control the world, they suffer the most. Those who are trying to enjoy the world, they suffer less. And those who are trying to be the saviors of the world, they suffer to the smallest degree. But everyone's suffering because they don't know who the real controller is, who the real enjoyer is, and who the real savior is. So that's all we're trying to find out. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. Did they take your seat away?
We finished the Gita today, so...
Don't need you anymore. We can sell your seat.
And the purport Srila Prabhupada translates this Sattva Tantra verse, and it says at the end, anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement.
Yeah.
So, what does it mean to know these three Vishnus? It seems we know that there are these three Vishnus.
When's the last time you met them? When did you meet them?
So this was the comment of our Devendra Gopal here when we were studying this for the first time here. He said he whispered from the last desk that no, personally.
Yeah, you have to know them in truth, like the Tattvata. Not so easy. Now Arjuna went to meet Mahavishnu in Mahavishnu Loka. He's a person. You can actually meet him. And you can go to the shore of the ocean of milk and you can pray to him if you can make it to the shore. But it's not so. To accept Krishna as a person, or even one of his expansions, will become liberated. Even the super soul, who's in our heart, is right next to us. Have you talked to him lately? Well, you can talk to him, but you have to be able to hear what he says. He's taken Monam in my heart. Monam. Vow of silence. He won't speak to me, somehow or another. I must have offended him sometime. He stopped speaking to me. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai.